everyone, and welcome to 50 simple chairs you can build in Minecraft using the new cushions. As you can see by the poplar tree behind me, I'm standing in the new Minecraft 26.3 snapshot. And so here we go. So this first one here is just the simplest thing that came into my head, which is just a cushion on a slab. But it's simple, it works, you'll probably use it somewhere in your interior. And then we have obviously the same thing but with a stair. And then next we have this one where we added some shelves on the sides. And I think this is a pretty nice comfy chair that I would definitely use in my house. And then next we have one where we added a trapdoor in the end to make it really a full chair, and I would see these around like a dining table or something while you're building. And then we have a stair chair with a cushion and trapdoors on the sides, which is more thin or less bulky version of with the shelves, but I personally like the shelves version better. And we have a stair chair with shelves on the sides that's raised by a fence post, which is nice for like a bar stool or any kind of raised seat. And we have the classic Minecraft couch with cushions added on. And obviously you can build these with any wood or cushions. I just use these colors because they look nice to each other. And we have a kind of ottoman with slabs and cushions on top of those. Then we have shelves on the side for a simple seat for you and your friends to sit next to each other. And then we have a Minecraft corner couch where we added some signs on the sides instead of shelves or stairs for, again, a simpler, less bulky design, but still fits nicely into your Minecraft house. And then we have some more classic looking chair where it's just a fence with a cushion on top and a trapdoor, but it doesn't have any slab or anything. It's a little tall for a chair, but I still feel like it could be good for any kind of classroom design. And then we have this one where we did use the slab as well, which makes it a lot thicker, but it still works for whatever look you want to go for. And then we have this one where it has kind of the shelves on the sides but a trapdoor in the back, and it's raised onto a slab, which is kind of similar to that one over there with the stair, but it has kind of more space, or you're not as far kind of pushed forward by the look of it. And then we move on to some benches that I made, and these are using a lot of oxidized copper and cyan cushions on top, but we have this one where it's like kind of copper bars and then trapdoors, and we have the cushions on top of those for just a very simple minimalistic bench. And then we have one made entirely out of trapdoors on the sides, the backs, the bottom, everywhere, with obviously the cushions, and that just creates a nice waiting bench. And then we have this kind of bulkier bench without anything on the side, and we have upside down stairs kind of forming the legs, and then trapdoors in the back. And then we have some more wider kind of lounge chairs, where you have the stairs on the sides and then kind of connecting in the back, and then we have obviously trapdoors in the back, kind of the chair that I would see my grandpa taking a nap in. And then we have this very large chair, and I like this design a little bit better, although it's a lot bigger, because you can sit directly in the middle, versus this one you're obviously forced onto one of the sides. And then this one kind of looks like this when you're in it, which is a little bit better. Definitely a great chair for spending a lazy day. And then we have this chair here, which is kind of one of those chairs you'll see in like an airport or something where you're waiting for a while. You can obviously put it in white blocks to be more accurate, but I was using the blue blocks because I like the color. But you can wait up in the middle or on the sides, and you'll see those a lot. Next we have these fun mushrooms that you can sit on as a chair if you're getting like a foresty vibe, where we have one on a flower pot. And then these ones are placed a little interesting where it's not directly on top of the sign, but I placed like 6 snow layers, then placed the cushion on top, and then quickly replaced the snow layers with a fence block before it broke. This allowed you to make it so that the fence post hooks out a little bit on the top there for kind of like a little white spot in the middle of the mushroom, which I think looks very cute. Or obviously you could push it directly on top. And this one I did the same thing with 4 wall blocks this is end stone here, instead of fences. And then we have these ones where it's, twice as tall for like a tall mushroom, and then this kind of umbrella mushroom here, which I'm a big fan of. This one has string on the bottom to support it. If you're in creative mode, you can probably just use a barrier block or something, but in survival, you're going to probably just stick with string. Then next we have this kind of bench here, which is just a solid block, but I think the pink colors look very nice. We have like the medium pink and then the dark pink of the cushions, and then the lighter pink of these trapdoors here. And speaking of trapdoor doors, we have this kind of hanging swing chair, where building the tree might be a little bit more effort for when you're doing simple, but you can also use a pre-existing tree. And then it's just obviously a bunch of trapdoors placed on top of each other and on the sides, and 2 cushions, and you can pretend that it swings back and forth while you chill on a nice summer day. Then we have a kind of chair or a bench that's just on top of a tree branch for when you're hanging out in your tree house. I feel like this would be a great addition to like a branch that's sticking out from a tree house personally. And this kind of chair where it's got a nice overhang, it'll keep you in the shade. It's kind of dark colors wise, but I feel like it's fun if you want more like a gothic vibe and to keep you out of the sun. Then we have obviously diner benches, which, you know, it's cool. You can sit with all your friends and eat a nice meal. There's a lot of different ways you could design this, but this is the most simple way to show it. And the next we have these kind of stone thrones here. We have this kind of simple one here, and we have one where it's twice as wide, so you can have like a dual people sitting on a throne, and this was made of like stone walls here, and then upside down stairs, and then walls on the bottom. And this one is kind of the biggest chair that I've built, and it's got a lot of walls here with a chain in the middle, and kind of stairs and slabs here, and then because this wall is like pushed up a bit from what's placed on top of it, it makes the cushion that I put on top of it just slightly higher. Next we have these kind of floating chairs here, which would be fun if you're going for some kind of sci-fi vibe. I don't know, it's a little like floating area. But you can still sit on them. And then we have these kind of chairs where it's on top of like lecterns for, I don't know, library chairs. You have the fancy book throne. I don't know, I feel like you could sit here and you could read for a while and it'd be fun. And then we have this classic couch here, which I'm very proud of the design. And this would definitely be perfect for any kind of modern looking living room build. We have a double decker couch, because who doesn't love the Lego movie? Don't know if you'd see very well with someone sitting directly in front of you, but you know, it'll work. Then we have this very big lazy couch for when you don't want to get up at all. I'll call this one the princess chair. We have some fun color combos I did with the glazed terracottas. We have this orange and blue one here that you can sit in. We have this black and purple bench, which I like the theme of a lot, and we have this yellow, white, and blue one. And they all look very cool if you're going for more colorful in your builds. We have this bench here, which is made of slabs, trapdoors on the side, and then we have cushions placed on top of pressure plates for just a little bit more of a 3D effect. And then I figured out how to make an even smaller bench where it's two back-to-back shelves with the cushions on top for just the simplest little bench or stool. Then we have this azalea chair, which is again fun if you're doing like a magical foresty vibe, where it's got a bunch of azaleas on the bottom and then azaleas in flower pots here, and then we got some like leaves on the sides. And we have these kind of warped vine chairs here. For what I feel like it'd be fun for like in a wizard tower or something to have like a chair like this. It's fun and different. And we have these kind of stone chairs that are mossy and overgrown. Have a double wide one, a single wide one, and then we put cushions on the stair blocks on the top to create it like a more clear archway on the top there. And that one has slab, obviously. We're just slabs with cushions and walls with cushions on the side for the armrests. And then we have a drip leaf chair, which I think is really cool and simple, and it's fun in a forest if you want to sit down somewhere. But you do have to be careful, and they can sit on it fine. If you stand up very long, it will cause the drip leaf to go down, which can sometimes cause the cushion to break. I guess they fixed it in the new snapshot. In snapshot 3 it broke, but it appears that just no longer happens. That's a great addition. I did not realize that. Then we have this kind of one where it's a bit shorter, and I made it with some moss instead of cobblestone. And we have obviously a double wide drip leaf bench. And then lastly, we have this very comfy fancy chair for, I don't know, maybe your mansion living room, or a chair at the very end of a fancy meeting table, where we have kind of stairs here with cushions placed on top of the stairs, trapdoor here, and then upside down stair. And then we have fences along the sides with shelves on the front, and then we have wooden pressure plates on top of here, and then stairs. And that concludes all 50 of my chair designs.
And thank you so much for watching my video, and subscribe for more fun building videos, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!